Hello. Today I thought I'd talk about something that really inspired me as a kid: ancient Egyptian art. I became fascinated with Egyptology when I was about 11. I've always been into spookier things, and the King Tut's curse held my attention for many years. Ancient Egypt is so unbelievably old. It began in 3150 BC and lasted until it was claimed by Alexander the Great in 332 BC, who then handed over to the Ptolemies, who ruled for another 300 years until the reign of Cleopatra in about 30 BC, when it fell to the Roman Empire. And if you're following along, that is almost 3,000 years. It is the longest lasting civilization in history, I believe. Consider that the Industrial Revolution, for example, which I think is the start of modern civilization, was only about 264 years ago. Now, the paintings of ancient Egypt can easily be misunderstood as primitive and unrealistic, but we have to ask ourselves, why would a civilization capable of complex architecture, design, reasoning, and culture fail to create works of stunning realist beauty? The materials they used were clearly not the issue. After all, the pigments have survived to this day. And if you look at pieces such as those found in the tomb of Nebamun, which is linked below, you will see that certainly with animals, the Egyptians were able to paint realistically and in proportion. Much of Egyptian art was used in this way to adorn the walls of tombs where no one would see it. And here we can start to build some understanding. Egyptian art was not decorative, rather it was practical. The ancient Egyptians believed in magic, the gods, and the afterlife. Preservation was important. The body was preserved so that the soul could live on, and the paintings on the walls preserved the likeness of the man. Not the everyday human likeness, but the complete whole and best angle. A human face in profile so that the nose is visible, but the eye head on, the torso front on, and the legs side on. Everything from its best and most complete angle, because you wouldn't want to wake up in the afterlife with foreshortened arms and half an eye. And to this purpose, the art also provided servants and objects, and the life of the deceased in its creation and through spells. The artwork is precise, geometric, and mathematical even, and it persisted for thousands of years this way. There were rules handed down through the ages from master to apprentice, and the only time the style ever changed somewhat was during the reign of Tutankhamun's father. He tried to change Egypt to a monotheistic religion alongside his wife Nefertiti, and the art they commissioned showed them playing with their children and not posed according to the strict rules that had been followed before. The link to the relief I'm talking about is below as well. But the status quo was already being restored during the reign of Tutankhamun, and it continued for another 1,000 years or so. And I think therein proves the hypothesis that the art served a purpose beyond the decorative, and to this end it needed a specific, stringent style. It is certainly aesthetically pleasing, and I think this was important to the ancient Egyptians, but not as important as making sure the gods knew exactly who you were, what you looked like, and what your role was in society, so that your afterlife could be a perfect mirror of your life. Egyptian art feels like it comes from another world, and I guess in a way it does. It is a world of myth and magic and order, and it's just something I love and hold dear. A lot of the information that I have got from about ancient Egyptian art comes from a book called The History of Art, and it's by E.H. Gombrich. I actually got this book as a Christmas present a couple years ago, and I really like it. It covers basically the history of art from the ancient prehistoric times up until recently. It's a lovely book, so if you are interested in art history, I definitely recommend getting it. I'll put the name and the author in the description below. And I would also like to remind you that I have a Redbubble store, and you can get all sorts of my drawings on all sorts of products. So do check it out. Link to that is also in the description. And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.